2 days before moving to Berlin. I'm enjoying the beautiful weather next to a river in which I will take a bath shortly. Welcome to Berlin. Welcome back after 7 years. I am excited. You can, by the way, watch that one of my very earliest vlog somewhere here. Yeah, first day, and now I'm on my way to go to my flat. It's gonna take like 15 minutes or so with bike and suitcase in the S-Bahn, I think, so the light rail. It took me 6 hours to get here by Flixbus, and now I'm quite tired. I arrived in my flat. So this is a great flat. Like, this is the room, the bedroom and living room together, bathroom and kitchen. Nothing big, but exactly what I need. Just a room, and a kitchen and a bathroom. The courtyard is also, looks really, really nice, very green and everything. Yeah, I think I told you already in the last vlog, but the way that I got this flat is, again, something that fell into my lap. Because a friend of mine, Nico, his brother moved out of his flat, and so now it was empty, and then he offered me to just live here in the month until the lease runs out. And then he thought, well, his girlfriend also has an empty flat, and it is a lot quieter, and it still has stuff in it. So yeah, this is where I am. And so, just connections, making a network of people where you just give and take. This is so valuable in life. I'm going to be staying here for a month, and that's what this vlog will be about.
No business until you check his. And if all else fail, I just hope that this swing Bentley doors blow smoke through the roof. Everything got a cost. They gon' need something on you.
ATL, West Side, that's the only home I know. In 85, me and Uncle Quint used to ride around in the big Bronco.
It's my first real day here, and I am almost overwhelmed because there is this conference of neuroethology also happening at the university currently, and I was meeting up with Daniele, who was in the lab in Sydney that I'm going to go to. So we caught up there, and Tim, my supervisor here, basically sneaked me in, and he gave me some like a food voucher, so I even had a lunch, and I caught up with some people. I was just part of the conference. That was really nice. I went to the poster session, and now I'm going to go to have dinner at the second best dinner place in Berlin, they said. That was really awesome, just having this conference experience and catching up with people. And actually the people that I'm going to go to have dinner with are from Macquarie University, so that's great to have that contact already and to chat. I'm quite enthusiastic, actually. On my first proper day, I would say, I will first go to the lab meeting, and then Jacob will tell me everything about the software and the setup and the hardware that I will be working with and that I will be transforming somewhat to fit to my ants.
And so then these just run, and I can access this computer, remote desktop.
So if you haven't seen any of my previous vlogs in which I have explained that, I am now a postdoc in the DAAD Prime project, which means that last year in the summer, about a year ago, I applied to get funding, so to get money for a project that I proposed to this DAAD, which is the German Academic International Service, which gives out research money. Yeah, these people that were judging my grant application said that, yeah, what I'm trying to do with the ants and the tracking, that merits the funding. And so I just got funding for 1.5 years. And that was bound to me being for 1 year abroad, which is Australia, so Sydney, and then 6 months, so half a year in Germany, to reintegrate into the German system. I really like my neighborhood, or my kiez as it's called, because there are like over 50, 60 bars, cafes and shops just in 5 minutes walking distance as I step out of my house. And it's really lively. Of course, there are a lot of people, but it's not very loud, except for the street. There is a library just around the corner, which means that it's not too bad that I don't have Wi-Fi at my house. So every time I step out of my door, I feel a little bit of energy.
Berlin, Berlin. Du bist meine Stadt, du bist mein Berlin, 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 Berlin.
Yeah, yeah.
In case you haven't seen any of my previous videos, here is a brief summary of the project that I am currently working on. I will be working on weaver ants, Ecophila smaragdina, and they are really interesting because they are arboreal ants, which means that they live in the tree canopies, where they build their nests by pulling together leaves and then weaving them together into sort of balls or spheres with the silk of their own larvae. And another thing that they do is when there are two branches where they want to go from one branch or twig to the other, but there's a gap, then the ants cross that gap by building bridges with their own bodies. So what my project is about is trying to find out how these ants build these self-assembled structures like the bridges or the pulling chains to pull the leaves together. And in order to find out the behavioral mechanisms or the rules, the algorithms that each ant is following and how they make up these bigger structures, I am trying to tag and individually track all of the ants that are being part of this self-assembled structure. And for that, I need special tags and special software. And this is why I'm here at the FU Berlin at this lab, because here people are using a special software for tracking bees in a beehive. So my task is now in these first 4 weeks in Berlin to get to know the software and to know what are the issues, how will I be able to adapt the software for the ants. And then I will go for a year to Australia, in which I will be actually doing the experiments. So getting the colonies, doing the experiments, tagging them, filming them, and then doing parts of the analysis at least. And then I will come back to the Free University Berlin again for 5 months, in which I will be analyzing the data a little bit more and mainly writing up the papers. I hope that I will be able to write at least 3 papers in this period of time in order to be competitive on the job market, but also in order to get as much out of this project as possible.
Wir beide kennen uns jetzt seit über 30 Jahren. Damals saß ich in der BVG und spürte deinen Atem. Reise durch das Land, doch es zieht mich immer wieder her.
Alright, starting my roughly 50-minute bike commute to uni, which is half as bad because I really like biking in Berlin. And one reason is that I'm passing the famous sights of Berlin, like the TV tower behind me, the cathedral, or the Brandenburg Gate. Sometimes on my way back, also the Reichstag. And another reason is that on these long distances that I go through town, Google Maps always finds a route with really good bike infrastructure. So there are always these bike lanes, sometimes separated like here. These Fahrradstraßen are amazing, so quiet. Or we can bike on the bus lanes, of which there are a lot here as well. Or of course, separate bike paths. We have our own little traffic lights, and we even get graciously rerouted in construction sites. Okay, so after I think over 2 weeks of battling with errors and updating the computer to Ubuntu 24 and fixing problems and updating things, I think now we can finally start testing the camera. This is a Basler camera. Basler is the company that makes these, and this is a $2,000 piece, which shoots very good video. trying out the cameras did not work because the computer is just too old. It doesn't have a USB 3.0 port, so well, that didn't work, but I am nevertheless very confident that I will be able to set up the camera in Australia with a new computer because Jacob just showed me everything, the software and what I have to do, and he'll also be there to answer any questions and fix any issues that will arise. So yeah, I think now I'm done here. I have done what I was supposed to do here, or what I set out to do here, and now I can just look forward to Australia and think a little bit more about actually the experiments that and have a good mixture between picking low-hanging fruits that might not be super high impact and shooting for the best that we can do, so maybe a nature paper or something like that. And if you shoot for nature, then you might still end up in PNAS. That's what they say. You know, I'm a man of culture, and last year the UNESCO has added to their list of intangible cultural heritage the Berlin techno scene. So of course I have to go to the biggest rave in Germany with 300,000 people.
Rechts, links, rechts, vorwärts, Marsch. Oh yeah. The Love Parade.
Because my cameras weren't working, I checked the system out in another project. In this trailer there is a beehive, and the bees were trained to fly to this apparatus. The bees are then caught and get a small magnetic tag glued on their backs, with which they are mounted inside that apparatus such that they can rotate and flap their wings freely. Then the walls are set into motion such that the bee gets optic flow as if she were flying a certain distance that the researcher decided on. At the end, the bee gets hand-fed with sugar water and can return to the nest. Here, that forager is filmed and analyzed to which location she is recruiting the other bees with her waggle dance.
Ich fühle mich zu Hause, ab dem Berliner Bär. Hier leben Menschen aus jeder Nation. Mittlerweile ist die Stadt eine Touristenattraktion. Mann, ich liebe die Falafel, dein Köfte und Gemüsedöner. Mit jedem neuen Tag werden meine Gefühle größer.
Now, after this month here, I feel that the biggest challenge in this project will be to actually make the tags stick on the ants without the ants dying or being rejected from the colony, because it's always a problem with paint or with gluing tags onto insects that there is for some reason high mortality, and because the glue or maybe the tags themselves, they smell different, they might be seen as something foreign or something dangerous to the colony, so that the other ants or bees, whatever it might be, they just eject them from the colony. So this is the first problem, and the second one will be to keep track of the ants when they are tilting maybe and being part of the structure of the bridge, for example, and not visible to the cameras, and then to still be able to follow them in order to know what they're doing before and after and during their time in the bridge or in the pulling chain. So that's where my thoughts are currently, next to just being excited to be able to go to Australia. Yay!
Ich kann nicht weg hier, denn ich liebe mein
And that's it from Berlin for now. See you in Bangkok.